So the one thing that really sold me on going fully digital is being able to print it, because I had these binders that I really loved and I loved being able to look back through them. This is my prayer journal from, this is a couple years, but I just have all of these like daily prayers and I love being able to look back through them. Hi, welcome back. So today I wanted to do this video, and the main purpose of this video is to show you how to print your notes. So if you are using the prayer journal, any prayer journal, you're using a Bible notebook where you take, notes for your Bible. If you're doing anything like that, but you are wanting to learn how to print, I'm going to show you. So the first part of this video, I'm going to just show you what exactly I print. We'll kind of go through some of my journals and what I print, and I'm going to show you my binders and show you what it actually looks like when it is printed. And then the second part of this video is going to be my computer, and I'm going to actually show you how to print, because there's just a few settings that I kind of recommend doing. I'll show you the percentage that you should do if you're doing A5, if you use A5 journals, and all that. So the first part is I'm going to just show you what I do. So the one thing that really sold me on going fully digital is being able to print it, because I had these binders that I really loved and I loved being able to look back through them. This is my prayer journal from, this is a couple years, but I just have all of these like daily prayers and I love being able to look back through them. I will tab some of them if there's like something I want to remember, something I want to be able to like quickly look back on, but I have loved having that. But what I was finding is that sometimes it was hard to bring all this, right? Like this, I got a, this is a prayer journal, war room prayer journal. This is a daily prayer journal, and this is my Bible notebook. So sometimes it was a lot to carry around. And so what I found is having this is a lot easier. I can pray, I can do scripture memory, I can do everything. I can bring it in the car with me when I'm waiting in car line. There's a lot of things that I can do with this. And so that's why I decided to go digital. But the one thing I wanted to see is how to print it. So I figured out how to do it. And so I guess I would say I'm doing more hybrid, where I do it all digitally, but then I do print everything. And I typically print everything at the end of the month. First, the things I print. The things I'm mainly printing right now are my Bible or my prayer journal. So this is my prayer journal. I have my daily pages. So like I obviously would not print this. I wouldn't print this, but like this stuff, like actual prayer pages. Okay, so here's like July stuff, August, like I print those pages. And then the monthly pages as well. So let's see, like these pages I print, and then here's August, like I print that kind of stuff. And then the war room section. So all of these sections. So like my heart, again, I don't print this or this, but I print this stuff. Okay, and then I print my Bible notebook. So I go into the whatever I've been studying. So I've been studying Acts, and I go through and I print off these pages that I have been studying, and I will show you what that looks like. And that's pretty much it. So like I don't print off my planner. I don't really print off anything else. Even my scripture memory, for me personally, I don't feel like I need it printed. I have it here. I also have the physical verse cards. And so because of that, I don't feel like I need to print anything here. So I don't print that. So those are the two main things I print. And then I'm going to obviously my scrapbook, the purpose of doing the digital scrapbook is I am going to be printing this. So I'll print this too. But those are the only three things, I guess, but two main things that I print. Okay, so let's look at the binders and I'll show you what it looks like. Now, this might not be for you if you're super picky, okay, because it's not perfect or exact. So I'll kind of show you what I mean. So I'm trying to see if I can find like, okay, so like here's a page from me writing, okay? And then here's like a page that I did. So it looks a little different, but to me, the point is just to get it out into, so these are all pages I printed, okay? So again, you can see the difference because there's space on the side where my normal journaling pages typically didn't have that. I took up the whole page. But again, the point for me is just to have it so I have it physically. So these are all from my Goodnotes journal. Okay, so all of these are my Goodnotes journal. This one, that one wasn't, but all these other ones are from my Goodnotes journal. Okay, so that's what it looks like with a prayer journal. You do have a little bit of space, but I found that this size is the best. If you print a little bit bigger, then I always feel like stuff gets cut off. So I will share, when I do the computer part, I will share the percentage I use. But that is what the prayer journal looks like. Let's see what the war room section is going to look pretty much the same. So again, this is like me writing, and then that is my Goodnotes stuff. Okay, so that's what that looks like. And then let's look at the Bible stuff. So I just printed off Acts the other day. Okay, so again, this is physical stuff, and now this is printing. So first, what I want to share is there is going to be a way that you're going to, if you're really wanting to do this, there is going to kind of be a way you're going to want to do your pages. So this page right here is in the journal, right? So if you go to book study, you go to any page, it has this already. Okay, that is part of the page. But when I go to print, I don't print the background, because if I were to print the background, and again, I will show you in a minute, but if I were to print the background, it'll include all these tabs, and you'd have to cut all the tabs off. So I personally don't print the background, but then that means that you sometimes lose this stuff. So you could do either one. If you wanted to print the background, you would just have to cut off the tabs, because it'd probably look kind of silly that you have just like a picture of tabs. Right, so rather than it looking like this, it would have the tabs, and you would need to cut that off. And then the sizing might be weird. So for me personally, I don't print the background, but that means anything that is part of the journal does not get printed. So this page, for instance, in Acts, this is what the page looks like. It has these little things that did not get printed. So you can see it did not get printed at all. So it's kind of a couple step process, but again, if you are, like for me, I just did this yesterday, and like as we were sitting around, we were like watching a movie and reading and doing stuff. I just spent time doing this. I printed it and I sat and did this. So I just added the stickers, and you could just write it too. So it says author, time, written for, and then we have favorite verses, themes, and keywords. And so I had stickers for author, time, theme, and keywords. So I just stuck them there. So you can kind of see what it is supposed to look like and what it turns out. But again, that's not a huge deal for me. So, because I still have all the, all the concepts basically written there. Okay. And then the map got printed. This is a physical page. Oh, this is from like last year. So, okay. So here is the next page. So this is what it looks like, and this is what got printed. And the reason this got printed like this is because I used a template, a PNG template. So I can go like this. So like one of the templates that you move. So that is kind of my trick, is for any page I am going to study, I always use a blank page, and then I add my template on top. So I will add this page right on top. That way when I print, it's not going to print the background, but this is not considered the background, because this is something that I added onto it, and it's going to print the whole thing. So that's kind of my big tip. So this is what Acts 1 looked like, and then this is how it turned out. Again, it's a little bit smaller, but for me, the point is just I have it on here. I know what it says, like I want it on here, but then I just also might want a version of it. So this is Acts 1, and then we have this page, which is right here. And then this next page. And we have this commentary page. Okay, and again, these are all blank pages, and I added the template. So like this Declare Truth page is a like template basically. So that's why it is able to be printed on there. And then that's the last page that I have. Okay, so that is what they look like when they are printed off. And so that's the kind of the same thing with the prayer journal. where I ended up having to, I added some stickers. Like here, I added that April sticker because it did not print the sticker. And then I just came in and I wrote marriage, husband, my heart. Like I just came in and wrote some stuff. So again, it doesn't take that long for me to come in there and do that. So for instance, if you are using my prayer journal, I do want to share this. So if you were to print any of these pages, this is attached, right? So if you were to kind of click it, like you can't click it. It is with the printer. It came with with the paper, with the journal. It came with the journal. So you can't take that off. Therefore, anything you print like that. So like, let's go to April. Okay, and I'll show you. So this is monthly, April. So this is what it looks like. It says big prayers and it says upcoming. But then when you come here, you'll see I wrote that. It did not come with this and it did not come with that. So when I printed it off, all I did is I just sat here with my planner and this and I just wrote it. I just wrote big prayers upcoming. You could again use stickers or something. But that's just one thing to keep in mind, that stuff is not going to be printed. So like this thing right here, that won't be printed. Where it says who he is, where it even says April, that stuff is not going to be printed. I'm trying to see if I have any other pages. So that kind of stuff is not going to be printed because it's part of the journal. So just keep that in mind. And that really only applies to like these pages, right? Because of that, if you're doing daily, obviously, then try to use a template that's PNG. For all of these, I came in and I did add those things. And so that's why they printed like this, because I came in and did the template. So that's kind of like my biggest tip, I guess I would say, is to definitely try, if you're going to be printing your notes, try to do templates, PNG templates, which meaning rather than coming here and going to this templates and grabbing any of these, which I know it's all fun that they're in here. But rather than grabbing one of these and copying and pasting it, I just grab a blank page. So I always just grab a blank page. And then what I do is I go to one of these templates, like this daily journaling template. Oh gosh. And I grab these. So, because these are all PNG. So I grab one of these, any of these. These are all the prayer journal ones. And then I have the Bible study one. So these are the ones that I used. You know, I have character study, commentary, word study, who he is. There's the declare truth one, the space one. So I use any of these. That way, when I do go to print them, they are going to print with that background, if that makes sense. So that is how it looks. I just want people to be aware that it might take you, you might have to add some stickers and add some stuff if you are like set on using the, what's it called? Like here's May. Let's look at this one. I just want to make sure you guys know, like, I don't want you to be like, yes, I'm going to go to digital and I'm print. And then you realize like, it's not perfect. Okay. So May. So this is what May looks like. So again, it says May, it says month, it says who he is. And then it has this little rainbow, then has a scripture memory. When I went to print it, this is all that came up, was just my lettering. So where I wrote sovereign, and then this that I wrote there, that's the only thing that came up. And so you can tell that I came in here and I just put a box there, and then I added a May sticker, and then I added a who he is sticker. So again, it's pretty quick if you want to write it, if you want to use some stickers. Like we have pretty much probably all the stickers you would need in the studio, so you could very easily do that. And again, now I have all my stuff that, if for some reason my iPad got lost, which it's backed up in the cloud, but you know what I mean? I do have it physically too, or if I'm just wanting to maybe just grab my binder for whatever reason, I can still do that because I have all of this here and I still have like blank pages back here. So I am kind of doing more of a hybrid where if I want to be physical, I can, and it can still all kind of be kept in the same place, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show you in my binders. We're going to move over to my computer and I'm going to show you how I print. Okay, so I'm now on my computer and I'm going to show you how to print. Now, I would assume this would be the same concept if you are on your iPad, but I personally don't ever print on my iPad. I just don't like it, and I just don't do it. So I'm just going to be showing you from my computer, but again, I feel like it'd be the same concept because Goodnotes looks the same. But this is Goodnotes. I have the file, so I'm just going to do my Bible study notebook. So we're going to go to Acts, and I'm going to print those pages. So I am going to click these dots here, which brings me to the contents. Okay, so these are the contents of the journal. And then I'm going to click Edit. And now I'm going to start selecting what pages I want. Now for this, I do it on the first page, and then I click on my keyboard. I hold the shift down, and as I'm holding the shift down, then I go to the last page. So this is the last page I want to do, so I click that, and it's going to bring all those. You can't really unclick any, so if I'm like, okay, I don't need this page, it doesn't really work that way. So I just do all of it, and when we get to the next step, you can unselect what you need to or delete what you need to. So we have all of it highlighted that I want. Again, I do this every month usually. So usually it's not like I'm printing tons and tons. If it's a prayer journal, I'm printing that month's prayers. And if it's this, it's usually printing a book, or maybe I'm printing some Declare Truth pages or some word studies. But for the most part, it's not like I'm printing the whole entire journal. So I have this, and then I'm going to click this More button. No, I'm not. Just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm going to click Export. And there's all these different options. You want PDF flattened. Okay, so we click PDF, and then there's all these options. So we do not want include page background. So I'm going to unselect that. And then this is just how I would have it. Include sticky notes, fine. Flattened, enable hand. So I don't even mess with any of that. So, but you want to make sure you do not have this one. I will show you what it looks like so you can understand, but I do not click that. And it's a PDF. And so then I'm going to click Export. Okay, so I'm going to open it and show you. So here it is. And again, as you can see, I did not do the background, which is because like this is part of the journal, and the table of contents, that is part of the journal. So because I said do not include the background, it did not include those. So now that I have my PDF, I can delete things. So I don't need this blank page. So I'm just going to delete it, and then I have all mine. Even if you wanted to move stuff around, if you wanted to move pages, you can do that at this step. So now I have my PDF, and I am going to print it. So if you were going to do letter size, you could just click print and send it. You might want to size it down a little bit if you're planning on putting it in a binder, meaning you're going to hole punch it. But it's pretty much ready to go. Now, if you're going to do A5, which if you're part of the studio, a lot of people do A5. If you're going to do A5, then I come to this area. Again, I know everybody's printer and their settings are different, but it might say something like preview. It might say something like scale to fit. Or there might just be a percentage. So you want to change that percentage. So I change mine to 80%. And it's going to just shrink it down and put it right in the middle of your page. And then after this, once you print it, you are then going to cut it down to A5 size. But I found that 80% is the best. Nothing gets cut off. I tried 90, absolutely everything. A ton of stuff gets cut off. Even 85, you have to really be careful what you're cutting. And so for me, I just found 80% to be the best. But you can always test different things. Maybe you could test 82%, 83%, whatever you want to make it better for you. But this has, for me, been the best. So 80%, and then I click print. Okay, but I did want to show you if you were going to do what it looks like if you're going to do the background. So we're going to click edit again, and where's X? Okay, so we're going to select all of these and click export. And let's say you wanted to include the background. So you would click that, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so what that looks like is this. So as you can see, you have the tabs. So you can see the tabs on the side, but it also is going to show you everything. So now you can obviously see this page where it looks like you can see this table of contents, but every single page has the tabs. So it's just up to you and your preference what you want to do. So if I was going to print this, it's going to print with the tabs, and it's going to be a little bit harder to figure out because 80% is also including this. So you would probably do it a little bit bigger. Again, for me, I didn't really test this out because I was fine with not having the background and just using templates. Like now I just always use templates, and because I know that little trick. But what you would do is you would maybe do 90%, but you would want to cut off that part. Now this would be probably a little bit easier when you're cutting because it does give you a template. So you can do that too. Let's print this at 90% and we will kind of test it and see how it works. So I have everything printed and now I'm going to cut it. I started recording and 90% does not work. So I printed off a few other sizes. So we're going to do this one last because again, this is not how I typically do it. And so I really don't know. This is the one I do without the background. So let's do this one first. So what I do, and you guys, this is like not professional, not like, you know, some special way. I literally take the paper and I take an A5 page that is already in my binder and I literally just stick it on top. And then I kind of just like look, see through, make sure like, okay, none of the holes would be up. And then I go like this and I just, I know it's so like not professional. I kind of feel it. I look to see kind of this like see through, right? And I go, okay, nothing's going to be cut off. And then I just literally go like this and just try not to cut that actual other page, but I go like this. And I know that is not professional. You could absolutely like try to do one and figure out the measurements you need to cut at. But for me, again, this is not about perfection. It's just about getting them in a binder. Okay. And now it's an A5 size. And then, like I said, I would just probably come in here and you could just, you know, just write it. I mean, again, this is like all my handwriting anyway, so it doesn't matter. So keywords, I think this one says themes, or do a sticker. You know, you could write axe. Again, use a sticker if you want to. I do like author. I mean, whatever. You guys can, you know, still make it all cutesy, but come in and make sure I'm labeling those. And that is done. Then I would hole punch it and it's going to fit right into my binder. So that is how to do it with the no backgrounds. Okay, so for the backgrounds, I did that first one, which was 90%, and it is way too small. Let me grab my page. So again, this is the one we just did. It's A5 size. It is not the right size. So 90% does not work. Do not do 90%. I also did 100 and I did 105. So we're going to test these. So for this one, the nice thing about this, I will say, is it gives you a guide. So all you have to do is just cut off the tabs. So I'm not really having to measure using that other thing. I'm just literally going to go to like the edge and cut off the little guides. I'm going to kind of test. I won't cut off that side actually yet. I'm going to cut off this tab and then I would flip it over and I'm going to cut off these tabs. Now I think there might be times where little things do get cut off. So yeah, you can see my little flower got cut off, but I'm just going to go like this and cut off the bottom. Okay, so 100 is pretty close. You can see it's, okay, I didn't cut enough off the bottom. But in terms of the side, as you can see, it's pretty close. Pretty close. So 110, 105 might be perfect, or it might be too big. So let's test that one. So I want to be sure I can give you guys accurate. Because this one I will say is easier to cut for sure. Like, because it just kind of gives you that guide already. Okay. Let's see. I'm just doing that for the bottom, and then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to cut these tabs off. Okay. And we have this one, which is our guide. So it's a little big, but if I were to cut off this side, I would be cutting off some stuff. If I cut off this side, I might be cutting off stuff too, because you always have to think about, you're going to have a hole punches. So it'll cut off a little bit. Let's hole punch it. But I'm thinking 100, what was that? 100% is probably better. So yes, it did cut off the word time, just a little other stuff. And again, I mean, then you have the background. So I kind of feel like whatever you, I mean, obviously you can probably figure out that that says AD 62 and what was cut off was probably time. So for me, again, not a huge deal. And I would probably just put a sticker right there. I mean, stickers are cute. I love adding stickers, so I don't see it as like a horrible thing, but that is what it looks like. So here is what this one looks like. Again, this was pretty close to the top. Okay, so I want to show you what we all have, all the things that we have. So this is the first one. I put them all, they're all been hole punched and they're in the binder. So the first one is no background, so printed with no background, and then stickers added. Okay, this one is printed with no background and just writing in what I needed to write in to kind of make it make sense, basically. Okay, these next ones are printed with the background. This one is printed at 90%. You can see it is not white enough, so I would not use the 90% one. This one is printed at 100% with the background. Nothing is really cut off. Even that one is, it's a little close, but this down here did get cut off. So I would just say if you're ever doing this with the backgrounds, just be careful of anything in the corner because stuff might get cut off. But even on this side, I mean, it's close, but it's pretty good. This is 100%. This one is 105. So you can see that this one, we had the word time cut off. That little flower thing is completely cut off. Okay, so here we have like a little tiny bit. That's pretty much cut off. And then the map is pretty close. And then here's cut off. And then this one, you can see, if you can look really closely, it's a tiny bit small. So you can see this is my other A5 paper right over there. And this is this one. But again, I don't feel like it's a big difference. So you can see right there. It's a little small, but not a huge difference. And then this one obviously fits good, but some stuff is cut off. So that is what I would suggest. I would suggest either doing the no background option, or if you're going to do it with a background, do 100%. Anyways, I know this was like a lot of information. I hope it was helpful. Again, depending on your journal, if you're not using this particular journal, you might have to do a test. So I would just print one page, and that's what I did for this. I printed these all again at like 90%, 100%, 105. I even did 110. Just print them at different sizes and cut them and see what works. And then, you know, write that number down so that you can always do that. But I hope this was helpful.